Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Benny Intruder. Welcome to Star Dynasties, a game which, no matter what you see going forward, deserves 10 out of 10 for ambition. Because what these guys have done is said, hey, let's just blend together Stellaris and Crusader Kings, where it's all about characters and dynasties, and it's a character-based RPG with lots of events, and bloody hell, that's an ask. I mean, well done, that is ballsy of you, but honestly, I'm just here because I'm incredibly curious. Could they possibly have actually done this idea justice? So, the official reason for this blending of Crusader Kings and Stellaris is Earth was doing great. We had colonies out in the stars and amazing technology and diddly-diddly-dee, but then somebody left the oven on and Earth exploded. And unfortunately, that was where we were keeping the instruction manuals for all of our colonies and spaceships. So everyone was out there going, oh bloody hell, does anyone know how to fix or fly this thing? And everyone said, oh no we don't, sorry, we kept all of that on Earth. So as a result of that, we're out here in these amazingly powerful super sci-fi colonies, but we don't really know how to make more. So society then regressed to a feudal state, not 100% sure why, but it did. So as a result of that, I am part of the Kingdom of Hexagons, well known for the many hexagons on its flag. We worship the hexagon, by the way, it is our religion. And I need to build a character. And I really like this character builder, by the way. Not least as there is a direction button, so you can make your character do a little dance in, time with whatever music you want, it's marvellous. But also because there's a really fun RPG-style trait system, so the only rule is you've got to have, 0 or below. You can't just make a super character, so I can't be kind and brave and loyal and then start. So if you want to give yourself something good, you've got to give yourself something to offset that. So if I wanted to give myself a good personality trait, I could offset that by saying the system I start on has poor infrastructure. So as a result of that, there's going to be less tax or whatever. So I've got a poor base for my empire. And this extends to my home system too. I can say, you know what, I can defend my system nice and easily, or there's plenty of good resources, or fleet up, for example. So yeah, there's a lot of really fun, interesting ways you can set up a character and balance it against, say, your system, your faction, all sorts of bits and pieces. It's a really fun system. So I'm going to say I am brave to give myself a bit of a boost on the old military, together with security, so people can't, hack me or whatever. And I'm going to offset that by being vengeful. So a bit more military, but it's going to cost me some diplomacy. Though, if I can make my enemies unhappy, that's going to cheer me up. And as for my home system, I'm going to say it is mineral rich. So we're going to have loads of extra money. That's just great. But to offset that, I'm going to say, yes, rebellious. That sounds fun. So there is a slightly increased chance of rebellion. But if that does happen, I've got a fleet, we'll bomb them from orbit. It's going to be fine, probably. So, welcome to Paradox's greatest hits. Because yes, indeed, this all probably looks a little bit on the confusing side. Because over on this side of the screen, it's all very Stellaris. You've got an empire with lovely coloured borders, you've got hyperlane links, you've got the Kingdom of Hexagons, all very Stellaris. Over on this side of the screen, however, you've got yourself a character with a giant family and a massive family tree on top of that. And no, we're not done yet. Because she's also got 5 primary attributes, where the second one in from the left is the one related to military, the fourth one in from the left is the one related to skullduggery, and the final one is related to knowledge and technology. So when the police raid the building and try and figure out who it was that robbed Paradox, they're not going to suspect a bloody thing. Because yes, things actually work rather differently. This is not my empire. Instead, because of the bureaucratic and technological problems of stars being very far apart, I am only ever going to rule one single system. My capital here, marked with a crown, Groombridge 34. Lovely name, very exciting and sexy, right there. That's my capital, and it always will be. That is the only territory I will ever directly control. So as a result of that, what's the rest of this stuff in my territory? Well, that's my vassals, therefore. So go over to my vassals. Yes, we can see here, there they go, nice and highlighted as I hover over them. So I got myself 3 vassals right now. That's actually all the vassals I'm allowed for the minute, so we're going to need to do something about that if we want to be growing. And yes, these guys I need to keep very much on side because, okay, I'm being mean. It's not entirely a takeoff. There's actually some really good, interesting, unique ideas going on here. And the way the military's handled is actually one of them. You see, because I only control one system, there's only so much fleet I'm ever going to be able to grow and maintain in my one system. Specifically, I think we've got ourselves 4 of the blue things, those are bombers, 6.5 interceptors, and 2.6 frigates. So, even if I invest everything I can into growing my military, this is as strong down here as I can ever be. 4.5, 7.5, 3. Now, that's a bit of a problem, because if I go over to my military strength right here, you see that actually, some of my vassals are already pretty darn strong. My vassals each control the same amount of territory that I do directly. As a result of that, this guy's got as many flipping interceptors as I can ever have. If my vassals all get together and say, hey, the guy who's currently running one of these systems, they should be Duke instead of the current Duke, I basically can't stand up to them. So your vassals pose a real threat to you, because combined they're almost always, under pretty much all circumstances, going to be stronger than you. So it's way more important that you keep them nice and on side, because there's no chance you're going to be maintaining a large enough fleet, at least anywhere in the early mid-game, to actually stand up to them. That's cool. That's a nice little thing. I like that. So, what are we supposed to be doing here? Well, ultimately, you know, take over the world, or rather galaxy, I suppose, because the world already belongs to me and everyone kind of accepts it. How are we going to do that? Well, the game gives you some ideas, but we're not quite ready for most of these just yet. So, apparently, the Kingdom of Hexagon has got a good claim to take over the entire Shepherd Coalition, which is over here. Though I cannot but notice the Shepherd Coalition actually happens to be, you know, bigger than us. And this stripy line means they actually work for the Giles Quadrant at the moment. So if we just dip in here, yeah. So these guys have got a lot of firepower. 140 out of 180 and a lot of flipping everything, actually. Obviously, we can't go toe-to-toe with them. So we're going to need to build up our strength a bit first before we go throwing our weight around. And I can't help but notice, yes, right next door, the Bryant Colonies. These guys look a little bit more on the small and manageable side. Ah, but here's interesting. The Duchess is apparently related to me. So yes, go over to the kin map here, and the game will show you where you've got friends. So apparently, yes, I've got somebody up over here, but mostly, yeah, it would appear this entire area is just belonging to my single family. Let's see if we can just sort of figure this out a little bit with the good old family tree here. Here we go. So here's me. There's my mother, the previous ruler of the Kingdom of Hexagon. So apparently she's still alive. She just stepped down at some point. Then we have got this guy over here ruling the Bryant Colonies. So because we were close together, yes, my mother's son married his daughter to secure not really an alliance. That doesn't really seem to be so much of a thing on this occasion, but they did get a bit on the marriage side, but apparently we kinda hate each other, so that's good. I'm vengeful. If she's unhappy, then I'm happy, damn it. So, yes, we might have some form of, like, you know, vestigial relationship, and thus excuse to invade the damn place. I mean, one thing's the starting point. We do have a bit of a fleet advantage. Not the best fleet advantage, mind. She does have more in the way of frigates than us, mainly because, okay, unknown houses. We don't have information as to what's going on back over here. Now, in theory, though, if we could get one of them to, you know, spring in our favour, then that would very much swing the balance of power. And this is why I like this system, because, yes, an even war can suddenly swing very much in your favour or against you if a single vassal decides to change sides. So making sure you're on top of your vassals and what they're doing and whether they like you, kind of important. So any chance we could just have a bit of a word with you and just basically get you to come straight over. So I could just demand vassalage from her. So at that point, okay, the entire faction will just go over to me. And she may accept if I ask politely, but she also may not. In which case, yes, so, okay, here's another new thing. This game is not real-time with pause, it's turn-based. So I've got 12 action points remaining. If I make a mistake, say, you know, put something to her that she doesn't accept, then as a result of that, there is a possibility I've just wasted a very large amount of action, by virtue of, buying a lot of confetti for the welcome to our faction party. So, if I do this, potentially, that's gonna go badly. But the other problem is, of course, if I just declare war on her, that's bad. Because, 1, you shouldn't go to war, and 2, she's kin. So I'd be basically losing reputation. Alright, these are my 2 meters down the bottom here. The more I'm liked around the galaxy, the more people think, you know what, she's a good egg, I like her. So that's going to lead directly into improved opinion. If I start doing bad, dicey things, that's going to go down worse, and people are going to hate me, including my own vassals, and yes, that could be an issue. My happiness, meanwhile, that can contribute to more AP. So I've got to roleplay in character as a vengeful bastard, because if I don't, I'm going to become unhappy. It works a bit like stress in Crusader Kings. Again, interesting idea, that if you actually roleplay along with your character, you're going to naturally just gain more action points. Very, very fun system. The problem we've also got here is, she doesn't like me. So if she just decides to, join me out of fear, then there's a very real possibility that when the time comes, she will backstab me at the earliest possible opportunity. Okay, I'll have a think about that, but there's one other important thing we need to do yet, because when I say this is Crusader Kings, I'm really not kidding, by the way, because I've got a council. So I've got to have a council member assigned to each of the 5 stats, and in particular, yes, if we're maybe thinking of going to war, I think I saw, my mother is very good at the old murder. Alright, she carved this empire out of blood and bone. So she can be our brand new beautiful, beautiful advisor, and that's going to make a huge, huge difference to all sorts of bits and pieces. If I want to eat some more vassals, I'm going to be needing some more diplomacy. Apparently, my son-in-law would be very, very good at that. So, go on. In terms of administration, so that is, yes, more money off taxes, because I'm gaining money, and I'm getting a lot of money, because remember, I made my territory mineral rich, so as a result of that, money's coming in very, very nicely. My daughter-in-law can handle all of that good stuff, very, very nice indeed. Security, meanwhile, is, yes, for subterfuge and whatnot, so, okay. We're kind of bad at that, and I don't really have anyone who's good at it. So, okay, my useless son can have that job, and we're just going to be wide open security-wise. Yeah, it's really weird, because technology seems to have massively regressed aside from the technology we've just inherited, but we don't know how it works. So, my husband, however, would be good at that business. So, go on, husband. There we go. So, close family members in all sorts of good positions. Very, very nice indeed. And straight away, that's had a massive impact on my military strength, because, yes, okay, what I've got in my territory, as you can see under Groombridge, is represented as 8 strength, because my military genius mother is making them worth double what they should be. So all of a sudden, we're looking a lot stronger. 30, 31, 18. So next to next door, all of a sudden, oh, she's probably way more likely to potentially surrender, because she knows she can't win the war. Except setting up the council actually ate a large amount of AP, so this turn, I can't demand anything from her. All I could do instead would be offer to be her vassal. And yes, if I feel like I'm in a dangerous situation, I can just go up to anybody and say, hey, I'd like to work for you now. Would that be okay? Because if you're in a bad situation, just like in Crusader Kings, being a powerful duke under an even more powerful king, if you just, keep your head down, might give you some good defense against powerful neighbors. Okay, got myself a couple of AP, so I could find something to do with it right now. And by the way, I love this system. The action button down over here. This is basically like a really simple way of just showing you all the things you can do. So, if you're still learning the game, and you want to, say, improve your economy, click on economy, it'll show you all the things you could do that would improve your economy. So, I could set my taxes to high. That's the thing I can afford to do right now, so I can just do that from right here. But, that's going to make my vassals unhappy, and that's probably a bad call. Alternatively, I could dedicate some time to improving tax collection. So, yes, if a particular vassal is paying me flipping loads of money, I could actually make their tax collection more efficient. Basically send my own tax collectors to help them, though that kind of feels a bit like a shakedown. Or, I could improve my own infrastructure, i.e. make Groombridge a bit on the better side. But obviously, that's going to involve money being spent, and I can also spend money on my vassals if that's what I want to do. But that means they'll pay more tax. They might be happy about that. I like this menu, by the way. It's a good way of introducing stuff that you could do while you're still new to the game. It's actually a really good, effective tutorial. Not that you always need to spend every action point, because if you don't spend your action points, they get converted into gold. So they're never wasted, that's all absolutely fine. And then there's personal stuff, like say, if you're sick, get yourself medical attention. If you're worried about assassination, get yourself a bodyguard, or train yourself to be better at something. So, okay, I'm going to say I'm going to make myself better at military, because I feel like war's coming up, and who can actually help me out with this? Well, I feel like my mother would be the best bet, but I think she's busy doing other stuff, so I'm going to get my own husband to teach me how to do, like, ship combat or something. That's the end of my turn, and events are just going to now start coming in at the same time. But, next turn, oh dear, my dear sister, you need to come along with me, or you're going to flip down. And there is, there's an uprising going on down south. Now, that's interesting, because I think I saw, yes indeed, I actually have a claim to be the owner of Naos or whatever. Now, that guy was actually stronger than me. But, if he's got an uprising going on, okay, so the Kent Quadrant actually won the uprising, or rather, there was a fleet, it attacked him, and he actually won the battle. That does not mean, however, his fleet is as strong as it was. His fleet might now be down a bit, which could give me an opportunity where, especially if I could get Naos to be on board, this could be the moment to jump on him. And someone's doing some form of subterfuge as well. Yes, there's been a massive explosion at Narvi. Someone's blown up some Narvi right over there. Okay, these guys are having a bad day. Keep an eye on that. Possibly, you get to stay independent a bit longer, because this planet, I've actually got the right to claim this, whereas attacking my own sister-in-law, frowned upon in many ways. Though there is also okay, there is a small uprising going on internally, but that's not against me, that's against somebody attacking one of my own vassals, who just wants to become the new vassal, which is honestly fine. To be honest, I'm not really involved at all. Though, one of my other vassals is backing one of my vassals, so hopefully that means, and yeah, okay, my other vassals are also getting involved, so how's this gonna shake out, by the way? And, okay, unfortunately he wants me involved. I was just going to sit this one out, but let's see what's going on here precisely. Because honestly, if you guys could just not fight, I'd appreciate it. So this is the upstart who's reached out to me. He wants me to back him. Now, if I refuse, there's no problem. And he is going to win. The existing person, Yachi Peters, has nothing. All the other vassals have thrown in with the upstart. They all want him on board. Now, the problem is, if I actually go in, it doesn't actually help me, because I gain 2 negatives to reputation, because I'm not really supposed to be attacking my own vassals. They're supposed to be doing their own business, respect their autonomy. But, however, if I actually helped out someone in their rebellion, they're gonna like that, because apparently he's got a justified cause. He was being like, I don't know, tortured with nerve whips, which is a thing in this game. You can nerve whip people if you want. So, on balance, it wouldn't make a difference. However, yes, if he's about to be the new leader, and he 100% is, then, as a result of that, if I help him, he might be, you know, on side with me. And I'll be fighting alongside my own vassals. My own fleet shouldn't really take much of a battering, so I will agree to be involved with this fight. So I am supporting his rebellion, no trouble whatsoever, and if I want to, I can send in a commander. Okay, so I'm sending a commander to back my fleet during this fight. So I could do it myself, or you know what, my mother is definitely the best option. So my mother is going in to this massive fight right over here. And obviously, we have very easily won. I don't get to actually see the fight happening, because it's not my fight. I'm just sending troops to help out. The person in control would be Sir Xing Antony, because it was his uprising. Though, to be honest, don't expect massive flashy explosions. It is just done with, like, dice rolls and stuff. So, combat is not as showy as Stellaris. Don't go in expecting it to be. And yes, in the end, we lost, like, one ship each or something. But we have won, and hopefully this guy should now be, yes, much more happy with me, because I helped him. Okay, what's the situation down over here? Because, yes, as I suspected, this guy had an uprising against him. He won, but it left him extremely bloody battered. Okay, he's not got anywhere near as much firepower as he once did. And how much of that is actually coming from... a lot of that's coming from House Orozco. Now, House Orozco is the house I've actually got the right to be owning, apparently. So, if she'd be willing to come aboard, then that would be huge. Because her fleet, plus my fleet, and all my vassals' fleet, we could kick this guy's ass. Okay, this guy's got, like, nothing. Oh, but hang on. Okay, he's made a decision here. What he's doing is he's basically creating new vassals of vassals. He's just made himself into an archon, which happens automatically when he makes a new duke, okay? And the duke has also inherited a new baron. Basically, he's just rationalizing his empire a little bit. He has executed someone for that rebellion, and... oh, she's asking for my help because Naos is attacking her. Now, I want to take over Naos, so no, I'm very sorry, but I'm not getting involved. Alright, though, if I wanted to. Yes, here's another fun thing, by the way. You can either refuse, accept, or you can say yes if you'll give me a certain amount of money. And you don't know which one she will or won't accept. So you have to kind of, like, you know, gamble on how much you might be able to squeeze out of somebody. But, sorry, I'm not really getting involved on this one. I want her on site, so I am not getting involved in this at all. And my mother is ill, but then she is old, so this is not unexpected in many ways. My daughter-in-law is pregnant, and my son wants to divorce from my... I could have sworn you were actually, like, in love 2 minutes ago. And I'm sorry, but no, we're playing by feudal rules here, so go and see the Space Pope. I don't know if there's a Space Pope. If there's a Space Pope, you have to go and speak to the Space Pope. But otherwise, no, not happening, sorry. So yes, a lot of stuff happens between turns. It can be a bit overwhelming, to be honest. So, okay. My family. My mother is not well. So, we need to get her a little bit of medical attention, actually. I've got the AP for that. No trouble. And my husband, who's currently training me in the military, would also be the best person to take care of my mother. Which is a little annoying... but he's the only competent person and she's the best commander we've got. So, okay, we'll send him over to deal with that. So, hopefully, that's all going to, you know, work. It's all going to be fine. Okay, so here's the situation, just so we understand this properly here, which is, this guy had to break these guys off, but Naos is not the capital. So, Naos is still a barony, now reporting into this duke, who now reports into this archon. Okay, so this guy over here is going to be annoyed if I want to take her away from him, because he's only got one vassal. Now, she actually seems pretty happy with the current state of affairs at the moment. She is happy and light, so she doesn't have much reason to rock the boat. I think she actually prefers this guy to her last liege. The problem is, if she fights for her independence, that's going to cause trouble. That is potentially going to be tricky, because then I've taken her against her will into my empire, and then she's not going to be reliable. So what we could do is improve my relationship with her, making her more likely to, you know, choose to throw in with me when the time is right. Yes, back to my sister. This might go badly for me, by the way, but... yes, if I just demand vassalage, so she may accept. I mean, she doesn't really have much of a say. You know, we'll give it a go. Maybe we can bring her on board nice and easy. So, I don't make this request. I ask politely, which is not a crime. Now, I may be stroking a pistol or like, a cruiser that I've parked directly behind me while I ask, but there is no apparent threat of war. I can threaten her, but because she is a close friend, bad. I need to ask nicely. The problem is she doesn't like me. So again, well, it did say might accept. We'll give it a go. I'm going to ask her. No. She does not actually like that idea because she doesn't like me. Okay, so I've just lost a whole bunch of AP and I should have called that one coming. Okay, we're going to need a claim so we can just go in without it being a massive problem. So, spend a bit of money and a couple of action points getting a claim down on Thurcad, because she's not going to play ball, and unfortunately, none of us are very good at diplomacy. Send my useless daughter-in-law. Oh, it's going to take her bloody ages. Okay, so I don't have a good diplomat, which is apparently a bit of a problem. I mean, the nice thing is I can just go to war if I want to. It's just very bad for my reputation. Because, yes, you want to be careful with your reputation. Because the moment your vassals decide, hang on, I don't like hanging out with you anymore, you're kind of boned in many ways. So that could be an issue. Still, that's probably enough for now. How do you guys feel about me, by the way? So, fine with me, fine with me, fine with me. I feel like we could actually afford to put up the tax rate, just a tiny amount, because, yes, medium is not a problem, if I recall correctly. So, yes, we're just going to set taxes to medium, plus 1.6 a turn. We're going to do that, and hopefully they're going to be, mostly cool with me. They're still mostly cool with me, I'm sure it's fine. Ooh, okay. I just inherited a territory. But yes, I can't rule it directly. I have to hand it straight over to somebody. So, okay. If I give it to somebody who is close to me, that is deemed to be good. And that gets me a bit of reputation immediately. Excellent. So, okay, Magdalena Hexagon, my daughter-in-law, is completely bloody useless. And I don't actually need her for anything right now. So, you can go and be the new ruler of that planet over there or something. Oh, and someone else is actually attacking my sister-in-law, so oh, bloody hell. Well, I'm gonna be honest, you should have just come along with me when you had the chance. I'm guessing it's these bastards up here. And my mother has recovered. Good, 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 good. Now that's nice, and I'm really happy about that. So that's tons of AP next turn. So, okay, daughter-in-law assigned to my son as head of security for House Anthony. Yeah, so they're playing their own little game of Crusader Kings over there too. And we have got visitors arriving. Just keep an eye on them. Make sure we trust them. I don't see anything suspicious about her. Okay, screw it. If my sister's potentially under attack and these guys are about to start expanding towards me, I need new territory. We're going in to Naos, okay? You can flipping back me and come along, or you can flipping die. Oh, hang on. Yes, sometimes the UI is a bit confusing, because I could demand allegiance from her, or demand allegiance from him, or demand Naos from the Naos menu from him, because he is ultimately the person with responsibility. So I think I need to do that, and okay, we're going to war, basically. Screw you, you stupid loser. Ah, the problem is launching an attack is going to cost me some action points, and I also need action points to call up my own vassals, and my vassals aren't 100% keen on me right now. Like, okay, the girl I just put in play, she is, but the rest of them don't like me, because I'm kind of acting dishonorably, meaning they may refuse to show up, which could actually be a bit of an issue. Just to end my turn, we're moving in next turn, but I've kind of lost the element of surprise, so really I should have done everything on a single turn when I had a giant pile of AP. Oh, and my flipping sister wants my help, does she? She wants my help. Right, well, no. Basically, screw you, actually. Though, to be honest, I could get some money. No, I need to maintain my fleet. So, who's the defender right now? The defender is, okay, the defender is my own sister. So, she's already got nothing. And the attacker's got a lot more. The problem is, if I refuse to help my closest kin, then, oh, bloody hell. Ah, but here's interesting. So one option is, I could say, I will come in and assist. However, if I do this, I expect you to work for me afterwards. I mean, honestly, I think that's fair. And by the way, if I actually move in and assist, I've got enough firepower that I could assist with this. And this could be a good way of getting my hated sister on board. So I would be sending in maybe, yeah, 10, 16, 14. Even if I sent in all that, it's far from a sure thing. No. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, but you're gonna lose. So, bye. Oh, this is really bad for my reputation, because I just basically said my sister-in-law can just screw herself, and everyone else is refusing to help out too. So, she won. Okay, that's surprising. I bet she bought a ton of flipping mercenaries, didn't she? Right, or something. I mean, I'm not sure how she did it, but okay, so maybe should have made the offer to help her out, because apparently she won anyway. Dear oh flippin' dear. Right, so that just screwed my reputation. Now I look very foolish. Okay. This time, oh, my own vassals are going to be not keen on me. Yes, I kind of just did a dishonourable feudal thing, so okay. My own daughter-in-law, who I put in play, she's fine. She's cool. No trouble there whatsoever. The other two, questionable at this point. So these two could decide to gang up on me. And I can make this work. Because I have got mercenaries. Okay? Send in my mother. Alright? My feared, terrifying mother. So, my daughter-in-law, who I made a baroness, she'll be coming along. That's no problem at all. Okay? Great. No issue. The problem is, some of my vassals, if I ask them to come, will just not come. But here's interesting. So the woman who Naos raided, even though she's actually not involved in this conflict, she might be willing to come along anyway. For the simple reason that, ooh, interesting. This is all very interesting, actually. I'll tell you what, I've also got mercs. Alright, I have got mercenaries, because I've got money. So, alright, and Yogi Kent decided to join the fight. Okay, so the entire Kent quadrant is now in on this. Basically, they were able to purchase his loyalty. So, they've now got his forces as well. That was all the money I had, actually. I'm really hoping you might be willing to flip sides to me. Please actually join, if you'd be so kind. Did she join? I don't think she joined. She didn't join. No. Oh, where did you get that fleet from? Yes, the problem is my single most powerful vassal is not going to come along. Now, they have an obligation to come along. That doesn't mean they're going to do it. And my other vassal is not providing anything of note. Okay, gonna be honest, this is not looking great. Yes, so I get to call someone into the war, and then they get to call someone into the war. And in the end, they had way more people to call into the war. Including this woman, who absolutely hates this woman, but she's been called in by her rightful liege, so... Oh... Okay. I feel like we should, retreat at this point, because we can't win, basically. Yes, we're going to be retreating, so we called off the attack. We failed to conquer these guys. Now I'm at war with them as well. Is there any chance that we could, like, come up with some form of, I don't know, nice, friendly solution to all of this? I mean, one thing we could do is... I could just start working for him. I mean, that's an option. How about, instead of fighting Yogi Bear, I work for Yogi Bear? Alright, that's fine. Because then if I attack Naos later, when there's a good opportunity to do so, it's a vassal-on-vassal business. It's fine. So... Okay, I'm going to offer him vassalage, which hopefully he's going to accept, right? He'd accept that. He'll accept if I ask politely. Yes, I'd like to now just start working for you. There we go. Lovely. I have now gained vassalage from the Kingdom of Hexagons. Wait, no, the Kingdom of Hexagons now works for... Okay, basically, we've agreed to bury the hatchet, which is fine. So that's great right there. Right, let's just move time on here, actually. There's a bit of cracking down on dissent going on, and also... Oh, bloody hell. My sister-in-law has reached out to my liege and said he ought to do something about the fact I refused to help her, which I could have done to... Oh, bloody hell. Okay, this is all fine and... Oh. Okay, hang on. Neshmet just jumped over to... Oh, dear. Oh, flipping dear. Should have sided with me, you stupid loser. Okay, so right now the game says my sister is going to lose. Okay, and she's being attacked by the new Baron of Neshmet, who... Ah, no, the old Baron of Neshmet, who... Ah. Okay, so this guy was already Baron. He betrayed my sister-in-law to join these guys, and now he's coming straight in for some revenge with the backing of his new liege. I'm going to do it in return for... No, on this occasion I can't offer to do it in return for vassalage. So, oh, but if I refuse the request, then... Bloody hell. I need money. I need money for mercenaries. I will do it for money. Okay, she was willing to do that. So I'm now at war with... I'm at war with everybody. I shouldn't have done this. But last time, she pulled off a miraculous super victory. So I'm assuming that's going to happen again. So, okay. Who's going to be commanding the fleet? Which can't be my mother, I assume, because she's busy commanding the fleet, or was, down over here. So I'm pretty good in terms of military. I'm going in myself. Okay, and... They did. Okay, we won. We won again, meaning I should be less disliked and also I should be richer. Hooray for me. Yogi Bear has now decided that I'm such a dick, he's going to demand I step down. I mean, if I start a rebellion against him, then that's probably bad, because... I mean, right now I don't have much in the way of anything. My fleet is battered, like 30, 20, 30 odd. He, meanwhile, has got... He's got a similar fleet, but he's got vassals that don't hate him, which is a pretty big, important thing. And I'm also at war with everybody. So I feel like I shouldn't start another war down over here, actually. Now, I can't just say no and become independent. So, I guess we're independent now, so... Okay, are we at war with him? Okay, we're at war with him anyway. Yes, we're now at war with everybody, but he is no longer responsible for avenging crimes against my sister-in-law. But basically, screw my sister-in-law, I'm not happy about her in the slightest. Speaking of which, she's now sworn allegiance to this guy up here, so that's good. And also, apparently the Archon over here is boning someone he shouldn't be. Okay, what about this guy up here? Archon Bendak Schwartz up here has got a decent enough fleet. I mean, it's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to offer him vassalage at this point because I'm at war with a lot of people then again. What about these people over here? They don't actually have much right now, to be honest. So, oh bloody hell. Yeah, best bet might be to go and cower out in the Schwartz colonies. Okay, so I am now part of the Schwartz colonies, though I am still officially actually at war with everybody I'm at war with for the minute. So that's good. That's good. Everything's under control. Maybe I should just not really be doing things. Maybe I should just take a few years off and not screw over anybody. Actually, you know what? No. I am going to conquer at least one thing today. I am not leaving here without a single conquest. Alright, my useless bloody sister-in-law. Screw you, basically. I don't care how dishonourable it is. We're going to cocking war. Though I am now universally despised, which I feel like is not going to be a good thing either. And I can't actually begin the war. Actually, I might be able to begin the war. If I do a 4 in terms of attacking, and then I just basically... Yeah, okay, I send in my own troops. I send in one group of mercs, cheap mercs. We should be able to win. right now. So send in my mother. Brilliant. I join with my own troops immediately. Okay. She then brings in something. But to be honest, I think we are under control. And you would join. But if you do that, at that point, that is going to be risky. And I don't know who she's going to call in. Alright. Who could she call in? Could she actually call in, yeah, this guy? Because if so, you would join. And that is more troops than I would get using, yeah, all the rest of it. So I'm going to call you in. And, yep, you've been brought in. So I double the number that she has got. And if I bring in more people, she could bring in more people. It goes back and forth. With that number and my mother in command, we're going in immediately. So, okay, we are going in right now. So, okay, now we actually get to do a bit of a fight here, which is nice. So, okay, my mother has got access to various bonus tactics because she's very, very good indeed. And now I need to decide what I'm going to do. Where's my biggest advantage? It's in the blue things, which are bombers. Good, 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 good. So I have got the biggest advantage when it comes to bombers. Or I could just say, yes, chaos. Let's just toss ourselves in. And at that point, yes, there's going to be huge amounts of bonus damage. And I've got the advantage in numbers, so I feel like that's got to be a good thing. Screw it, activate chaos mode. So I'm going to use chaos and counter. So roll and roll and... Did she just get a really good roll? She just got a way better roll than me. So, yeah, they just did way more damage than me. And now they're actually ahead. Okay, I do still have point defense. I do still have, yeah, I've got the advantage in blue. In fact, that's all I've got at this point. Activate point defense. And she's using discipline. And let's get some rolls. 36 versus 38. Okay, about even. This is absolutely to the wire. And I could retreat if I want to. Bloody hell. Why have I even brought my mother along? I thought my mother was going to help with this. Okay. Where's my advantage at this point? I mean, or we could just say, I'm going to gamble it on chaos. I just need a roll. I need a good roll. Okay? And... oh, that looks like a good roll to me. I think we pulled it off. Yes, I think we pulled it off. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. And my brother has been injured. I don't fucking care. I've won. I've actually won something. I have conquered Furcad. My useless sister-in-law works for me now. Though I think we should definitely get rid of her, potentially. Replace her with my mother, who doesn't hate me. That'd be good. Anyone who doesn't hate me, to be honest. Yes, you! Don't know who you are, but you don't actively hate me. So you're going to now rule the place. Though admittedly, I've kind of taken this place over illegally, meaning a large number of people are now going to reach out to powerful people around the galaxy and say, excuse me, could you please punish these idiots because they did something they weren't supposed to? And sometimes people are all honourable and actually honour those requests and something. Okay, so my own Archon doesn't really like me. I'm at war with, I think, 4 different powers, though kind of part of 2 power blocks. To the east and the south. They're going to be wanting reparations at some point. I've kind of spent most of my money on mercenaries for a fight we didn't actually commit to. Also, I'm now universally despised. Everyone in the galaxy hates me, and my sister-in-law is almost certainly running off to find an Archon to punish me for my completely illegal war in which I took over a planet I shouldn't have actually taken over. So, that basically is Star Dynasties. That's how not to play it, by the way. This has all gone horribly, horribly wrong. So, there's some good ideas here. I like some of the stuff that the turn-based action point approach introduces, like happiness feeding through into action points. That's fun. The fact that you only get to have one system, so you're really heavily dependent on your vassals. If your vassals don't like you, you are screwed when it comes to war because they will just not show up. It's a really interesting system, like the action menu guiding you through things you can do divided into categories. That's useful. That's really good. That's a fun little system. Honestly, Crusader Kings could do with something like this. So yes, you could do with a bit of polish, and I'm not going to be playing it more than I play Stellaris or Crusader Kings. It's not up there, but I'll say I'm impressed with how close they've got. Like, they've come up with some good stuff here. There's some good ideas. It's not a bad takeoff of Paradox, and that's difficult to flipping do. So, okay, if you like your Paradox games and you want something a bit more turn-based, a bit of a remix, something that's some kind of weird space feudalism, you could do worse. Link in the description below. Might well be worth a look-see. Might even keep an eye on it. If it picks up, you know, some updates, some improvements, bit of DLC, something, might well look at this again in the future. We shall flipping see. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been Star Dynasties. Thank you very much, and goodbye. This is the face of death, okay? This is what my sudden death looks like. Do not engage before we arrive. Do not engage. What are you doing? I specifically said don't. Oh, no.
No, John.
Oh, he likes that. The Romans touched me.